Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Deal.
In today's episode, find out how you can get hands-on experience changing Point Park by joining our student government.
We'll also share the announcement of Mayor Ed Gainey's pick for press secretary, who's making history just by being in her position.
And let's not forget our reporters Carlo Andreassi and Samuel Parator here to tell you all about this week's latest political and sports news.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
Welcome back. Here's your latest campus news, starting with your weekly weather update with Alexa Shawless.
Thanks, Addison and Brandon. If you like the high temperatures we were seeing this week, then you're in luck. It looks like the groundhog may have been wrong in predicting 6 more weeks of winter, as the weather we're looking at much more closely resembles springtime. Temperatures do progressively get cooler throughout the week, with lows of high 20s nearing the weekend. But even if the cold days are cold, the warm days are certainly warm, as we're expected to break into the 60s on Tuesday. But with that high temperature comes a high chance of rain showers on Tuesday and Friday, along with some scattered snow showers in the later half of the week. But make sure you go out and get some sun on Monday, as the partially cloudy skies will be perfect for a nice walk at the point.
You know, that weather, I'm really feeling it. The spring weather is so nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The spring weather just feels so nice. It just brings out a lot of positive feelings, especially with how much snow and darkness we've been getting so far this winter.
Yeah, today was a really dreary day, and I'm just wondering when these ice mountains from all the snow before is going to melt.
Yeah, once we get rid of the rain and snow and all this ice, then I think the weather will just be beautiful.
But it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll probably be a while though, but what are you going to do about it? Thanks for the update, Alexa.
Now let's dive into the news that matters most, starting with this week's campus news.
KN95 masks are now available for all students interested in receiving one. According to the Globe, the masks were requested by the Student Government Association after the CDC recommendation to wear KN95 masks rather than cloth masks. Students concerned were also a factor in the mask purchase, since some students were not following mask guidelines correctly. The masks are 95% effective against preventing COVID-19 infection. At this time, they are not required to be worn on campus.
The CMI is holding a panel for Doris O'Donnell Fellowship Day, featuring the winners of the Investigative Journalism Prize on Tuesday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. Winners Rich Lord, Laura Corley, Erica Hensley, and Suni Klachichiliji will be answering questions and sharing stories for anyone attending. Students can RSVP at dorisodonnellfellowship.com or watch the live stream of facebook.com/PointParkCMI.
If you're looking to get involved with student government, the Student Government Association currently has many open positions. As of right now, they are looking to fill senator seats, the vice president, and president positions. Applications will be open on Friday, February 18th. A link to the application has been sent out to all student Point Park emails. Anyone interested can also contact sga@pointpark.edu. Student government meetings are held every Monday at 3:15 p.m. during school semesters.
That's really good that they're giving out the KN95 masks. I've looked for them on Amazon and everything, and apparently there's fake ones out there that if you get them, they're not actually real. So it's really hard to get your hands on real ones.
Yeah, that's really crazy. I mean, it was only time before all these fake masks and everything started circulating around.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, how do you even know if something's real?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a verification barcode or anything?
I'm honestly not sure. I think you just have to go to there's only a few certain websites that sell actual masks.
It's
it's
pretty
crazy.
But hopefully they get that under control.
Yeah.
And you can be sure that your N95
You're wearing a
mask
real
is
mask.
Real.
Yeah. After the break, find out if you'll still be able to enjoy outdoor eateries in Pittsburgh this summer.
And we'll inform you on the newest developments regarding recreation marijuana use in PA.
Don't forget, our reporters Carlo Andreassi and Samuel Parator are ready to give you this week's political and sports news.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, and welcome back to Newsnight. Most of the student body of the Pittsburgh Public School.
Some of the United States allies.
Thursday, the FBI was seen raiding.
Let's get started with today's forecast.
Today's high will only reach about 31 degrees.
It's looking a little cooler than we've seen in the past few weeks.
All this and more,
All this and more
All this and more coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
Welcome back to Daybreak.
Without further ado, here is your city news.
Mayor Ed Gainey has officially appointed Maria Montano as his administration's press secretary. Montano is Pittsburgh's first openly transgender female press secretary. Previously, Montano worked as the spokesperson for SEIU Healthcare, Pennsylvania, and with Councilwoman Erica Strausberger for expansion of LGBT+ protections in the city. Gainey said in a news release, quote, "I am proud to announce Maria Montano as my press secretary. She brings a wealth of communications, media, and lived experience to my administration, and I am confident in her commitment to make Pittsburgh a more livable city for all of us," end quote.
Outdoor dining will continue to be a popular thing in the city of Pittsburgh this spring. According to the Tribune Review, Pittsburgh City Council advanced a bill last week on Thursday, February 10th, which would continue to include outdoor dining for restaurants in the city. It would permanently be allowed for all retailers and restaurants. The urban redevelopment may also offer a $1 million grant to businesses that would allow for better barriers and seatings. After City Council completed voting on this week's bill, it has been approved.
The Pennsylvania Senate Law and Justice Committee held its first ever public hearing regarding the legalization of recreational marijuana. Lawmakers, law enforcement officials, and medical marijuana industry representatives all gathered in front of committee members to state the case for legal recreational usage. Lawmakers expressed concerns for the safety of recreational users, specific concerns including unsafe products in the black market. While this hearing still means legal recreational use is a long ways off, support for recreational usage has grown in both parties.
You know, I think it's really crazy that you can cross state lines and all of a sudden marijuana is legal. But
Yeah.
here in PA, no, you're not allowed to have it.
Yeah, not yet at least, but it's going all over the country. Like, more and more countries are making it legal recreationally, since it's already legal medically in most states.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, they know it's safe. If they can use it medically, then, and it's not having any incoherent effects on anybody, then what's the point in restricting it?
I think their main concern is like the black market, like things coming up in the black market. But if they legalize it recreationally, more places will open up and people can get it from legit places instead of in those black markets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's really just going down the street, down to Virginia or wherever it's legal just to get their stuff, you know? It's not happening.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll be a thing soon.
Hopefully. Coming up after this break, we have this week's Ray of Sunshine.
Well, PolitiSmack, your political news with reporter Carlo Andreassi.
And we'll hear this week's Sideline Slice from reporter Samuel Parator.
Stay tuned, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Sam Parator, here to give you a slice of the action with Sam's Sideline Slice. The NFL season has sadly come to a close, but what a note we ended on last Sunday. The Rams and the Bengals put on quite the show. It was an entertaining game, and the Bengals put up quite a fight. They had held the lead the whole time through the second half after a 75-yard touchdown to T. Higgins on the first play of the second half had given it to them. They would hold that until about the middle of the fourth quarter when Matthew Stafford took control. He and Cooper Kupp would lead a masterful 15-play drive, resulting in a touchdown and taking 5 minutes off the clock to give them a 23-20 lead and give the Bengals a mere 1 minute and 25 seconds to work with and score. All they needed was a field goal to tie, but unfortunately on the other side, Aaron Donald exists. The three-time Defensive Player of the Year took control of the game, forced the Bengals to a fourth down, which they could not convert thanks to him, and sealed the win for the LA Rams. The team that was built to win the championship did just that in their home stadium in front of their fans. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, and Andrew Whitworth are amongst those that finally get the ring that has eluded them for so long, and that was great to see. Unfortunately, however, that means the football season's over, and football fans will now go into hibernation for the next couple of months until fall comes around once again. As for me, I'll start going into some hockey starting next week, so look forward to that. That's all for me. Now let's head over to Carlo Andreassi for this week's PolitiSmack.
Thanks, Sam. I'm Carlo Andreassi, and this is PolitiSmack. With the midterms just around the corner, I suppose it isn't too much of a stretch that voters are already considering what they're looking for in the 2024 election. Interestingly enough, Democratic voters seem to be taking a little bit of a turn, not necessarily fully backing the incumbent. According to a poll conducted by CNN released on Sunday, 51% of Democrats prefer an alternative to President Biden in the 2024 election. This is along with 45% of voters who said they want Biden to be renominated by the party and 5% saying they have no opinion. Considering that Biden is an incumbent president, this is a very rare sentiment for his party to have. In 2010, 79% of Democrats wanted President Obama to be the 2012 nominee, and 77% of Republicans felt the same way about the 2020 election in 2018 when it came to President Trump. So, what are the reasons that Biden's own party seems to be wary about nominating him? Well, 31% say it's because they simply wouldn't re-elect Biden as a candidate. 35% say it's because they don't think he's liable to win against a Republican candidate. And 19% think the president is too old. When asked about preferred alternatives, the most popular name mentioned was Senator Bernie Sanders at 5%, followed by the First Lady Michelle Obama at 4%, and Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Vice President Kamala Harris at 2%. Not only does it seem like Democrats are skeptical of Biden for one reason or another, but Republicans have similar thoughts regarding Trump, who has clear ambitions to run again in 2024. 50% of Republican voters want to see Trump renominated, while 49% would prefer a different candidate. With this in mind, America might not see the Biden-Trump matchup it's expecting. In fact, there's not a whole lot to expect with the 2024 election, it seems. Only time has the answers. So, Addie, Brandon, what do you guys think? What do you think about the 2024 election? It's a long ways away, but here we have these numbers.
You know, I don't think age really matters when it comes to a candidate. I mean, if he can do the job, that's all that really matters, you know?
I do see your point, but I have to disagree. I do think he is a little bit too old.
But their alternative is Bernie Sanders. He's even older.
Right. The one thing I found interesting was some people thought Biden was too old, but also the most preferred candidate to have replace him in the 2024 election is Bernie Sanders, who's even older. So
that's I guess it comes down to just if you're old but you have views that people agree with, then you're golden. But if you're old and you're kind of slacking, sorry, you're getting the boot.
As Addie said, the wise words of Addie, you're getting the boot.
Yep. Thanks, Carlo. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to share with you this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
This week's quote is about the importance of positive thinking.
The quote comes from William Wordsworth and reads, quote, "Your mind is the garden, your thoughts are the seeds. The harvest can either be flowers or weeds," end quote.
Very thought-provoking there. Hopefully positive thought-provoking.
You know, I kind of took that as like if you don't water your happy seed, then you're not really going to grow and you're just going to be a sad little flower.
Right, and like all those negative thoughts, you know, you got to pull them out like bad weeds.
Exactly.
Exactly. The more you get rid of those negative thoughts, the more you get rid of the weeds, the more flowers can grow and the positive thoughts will take over.
Well, they're trying to get rid of the weeds, and then, you know, PA is trying to get the weeds. So, you know, that's it for Daybreak. Thank you so much for watching.
You can catch clips from all our previous Daybreak episodes on our YouTube at UView Television.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Daybreak PPU. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Deal, hoping your news is good news. Have a great day, everyone.